Okay, in this part 3 of the test review video, we're going to start with the absolute value equations. All right, so let's jump in right here. So we have the absolute value of x minus 2 equals 4. All right. By the way, the instructions say to solve for the absolute value equation and then check for extraneous solutions. So extraneous solutions, this is the understanding that you're going to solve an equation and it'll work to solve the equation, but it may not work when you put it back into the original equation with the absolute value. And if it doesn't, then that is not one of the solutions. It would become an extraneous solution, okay? So let's go ahead and work these out. First thing we want to do is we want to try to get the absolute value by itself. So for this first one here, we're going to need to add 2 to both sides to get rid of this minus 2. So now it's going to say the absolute value of x minus 2 equals 6, okay? Now you set your x minus 2 equal to 6 and x minus 2 equal to negative 6. So let's go ahead and work that out. X minus 2 equals positive 6. And then we're also going to work out x minus 2 equals negative 6, okay? To work these equations out, use inverse operations, but the left side is going to give us x equals 8. And on the right side, when we add 2 to both sides, we're going to get x equals negative 4. All right, we could go ahead and check our answers. But when you actually don't get, when you don't have a variable on the right side or on one of the sides of the equation, or on both sides, you're not going to end up with extraneous solutions. But let's go ahead and check. Plug in our 8 here. 8 minus 2 is 6, and the absolute value of 6 is 6, and 6 minus 2 is 4, so that one checks out. Negative 4. When you plug negative 4 in here, negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6, but the absolute value of negative 6 is 6, and 6 minus 2, again, is 4. So you can see both of those solutions did check out, okay? All right, moving over to this one. Again, a couple different ways you can work this, but we could go ahead and get this absolute value by itself by dividing by the 4. We just need to remember to do that on both sides. Okay, when you do that, you're just going to be left with the absolute value of 2x plus 3 equals 5. Okay, let me make that a little bit more pronounced. That's the absolute value. So we're going to take the 2x plus 3 and set it equal to 5, and 2x plus 3 and set it equal to negative 5. All right, so let's see. 2x plus 3 equals 5, and then we also have 2x plus 3 equals negative 5. All right, so we're going to need to subtract 3 from both sides and also divide by 2. So when we subtract 3 from both sides, we get 2x equals 2. And then we divide by 2, and we get x equals 1. Okay? So x equals 1 should be one of our solutions. And then over here, when we add 3 to both sides, when we subtract 3 from both sides, we get 2x equals negative 8, and then we're going to divide by 2, and x equals negative 4, okay? And that should check out as well. We could check our answers. You plug in a 1 here. 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 plus 3 is 5, and 4 times 5 is 20. When we plug in the negative 4, 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, and negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5, but the absolute value of negative 5 is 5, and 5 times 4 is 20, okay? All right, let's move on to this one here. So we have multiple steps here. We're going to get rid of this plus 8, all right, on both sides. So we'll need to subtract 8 from both sides. So let's go ahead and work this one out. So minus 8 from the left side and minus 8 from the right side. Now it says 7 times the absolute value of x minus 12 equals, what is that, 14? All right, that's a 12, by the way. Now we're multiplying by 7. We could probably distribute, but let's go ahead and get the absolute value by itself. So let's divide by 7 and divide by 7. They cancel over here, so all we have left is the absolute value of x minus 12 equals, and then 14 divided by 7 is 2, okay? Now, again, we set our absolute value equal to positive 2 and x minus 12 equal to negative 2, and we'll work those out separately. So x minus 12 equals 2, and x minus 12 equals negative 2. Okay, we can work those out separately. We're going to add 12 to both sides, and we get x equals 14 for one of our solutions. And over here on the right one, we add 12 to both sides, and we get x equals 10. All right, let's check our answers, make sure we did that right. Plug in a 14. 14 minus 12 is 2. The absolute value of 2 is 2. 7 times 2 is 14, and 14 plus 8 is 22, and that one checks out. Here we have a 10. 10 minus 12 is negative 2, but the absolute value of negative 2 is 2, and 7 times 2 is 14, and 14 plus 8 is 22, so that one checks out as well. Okay? All right, let's move on. Let's work out this one right here. Here we have x plus 4 equals 3x. So we're going to set x plus 4 equal to 3x, and we're going to set x plus 4 equal to negative 3x, okay? When we work this out, we're going to need to subtract 4 from both sides. So we're going to end up with x equals 3x minus 4. Or you may solve this one a little different than I do, but I'm always putting my x's on the left side. So I'm going to subtract 3x and subtract 3x, and I'm going to get negative 2x equals negative 4. And then when I divide by negative 2, I'm going to get x equals 2. Now, I'm definitely going to need to check my answer. Remember, when you have variables on both sides and you're working with the absolute value equation, you need to check for extraneous answers or extraneous solutions, okay? So x plus 4 equals negative 3x. Again, if you wanted to just move your x to the other side and work it out that way, you could subtract x from this side and subtract x from this side. Now we end up with an equation that says 4 equals negative 4x. And then we divide by negative 4. And you can see that x equals negative 1 when I divide 4 divided by negative 4. So now let's check these answers out. If you plug a 2 in here, 2 plus 4 is 6. The absolute value of 6 is 6. And over here, 3 times 2 is 6. So this one definitely checks out. Okay, let's try negative 1. Negative 1 plus 4 is positive 3. Absolute value of 3 is 3, but over here 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, so that is not going to be true, okay? So our only solution for this one would be here, because this one would not work out, okay? All right, let's go to move on to the next one. Let's see, we have the absolute value of 4x minus 9 equals 5x. So we're going to set this equal to positive 5x and set it equal to negative 5x. So 4x minus 9 equals 5x is one of our equations we're going to work out. And then 4x minus 9 equals negative 5x, okay? Work this out. We add 9 to both sides. Actually, let's go ahead and just keep, since our x's, let's go ahead and move our x's over here on the right side. So we're going to get rid of this 4x by subtracting 4x. And on the left side, all we have is our negative 9 that we just bring down equals, and then 5x minus 4x is 1x. So there's one of our solutions, negative 9, that we need to check. Let's work out our other one over here. Again, we're going to subtract 4x from the left and subtract 4x from the right. bring down our negative 9 equals, and then when you subtract, our negative 5x minus 4x is negative 9x. And then here you'll need to divide by negative 9, and you'll get x equals 1, okay? So let's check our solutions. If you plug in negative 9 here, 4 times negative 9 is negative 36, and negative 36 minus 9 is negative 45, but the absolute value of negative 45 is 45. But on the right, 5 times negative 9 is negative 45. So that one is not going to work. All right, let's try when x equals 1. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 minus 9 is negative 5. And the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. Well, does 5 equal 5 times 1? 5 times 1 is 5. Yes, that one is going to work out. So that is our only solution because x equals negative 9 was our extraneous solution. All right, let's keep going. The next one that we can look at here is the absolute value of 3x plus 8 equals 1x. So we set the 3x plus 8 equal to positive x, and then we have 3x plus 8 equals negative x, okay? All right, to solve these, we subtract 8 from both sides. Actually, again, let's go ahead, let's move our x. So we're gonna subtract 3x from this side and subtract 3x from this side, and our equation is now gonna say 8 equals negative 2x. Then I'm gonna divide by negative 2, and I'm gonna see that x equals negative 4, okay? On the right side, again, I'm going to move my x's over here because my constants are already by themselves over here. So I will subtract 3x from both sides. And in this equation, I see that 8 equals negative 4x. And then I divide by negative 4. And when I divide by negative 4, I see that x equals negative 2. Okay, let's check our answers. Plug a negative 4 in here. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Negative 12 plus 8 is negative 4. The absolute value of negative 4 is 4. And does 4 equal negative 4? No, it does not. That one is out. Okay, let's take a look at this one. If x equals negative 2, so 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And negative 6 plus 8 is 2. And the absolute value of 2 equals negative 2. That is not true. So this one is out as well. Neither one of them will work. So for this one, we could simply say no solution.